Hey guys, Angus from Spotted Hog Airsoft here today with another Airsoft video review. Now today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty awesome Airsoft product, one in a particular style I don't often take a look at, and that gun is the VFC MP5A5 Airsoft AEG with full H&K trademarks. Now if you're interested in picking up this AEG after you watch this video review, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftstation.com where you can pick it up for about $320. Now with that being said, I'm eager to review this MP5, something I don't take a look at too often, as I said, so let's hop straight into this video. Alright, now hopping directly into the review here, let's go ahead and immediately start talking about this MP5's construction. Now the external construction of this AEG is pretty nice, and that's something you'd expect from a high quality company like VFC, who usually puts out some nice quality externals, and that's exactly what we get here. You have a very good mix of the plastic and metal. Overall it gives the gun a lightweight feel, probably weighs a little over 5 pounds, maybe up to 7. Relatively lightweight, obviously based on the gun size, but you do get some metal pieces on here as well. Metal does include your whole upper receiver here, your magazine, your iron sights, your charging handle, as well as this portion back here that actually locks onto the stock itself. Those are all constructed of metal. The plastic pieces on this gun would include your handguard up here, that obviously bright orange tip, your lower receiver as well as your pistol grip, your fire selector switch, your trigger, and your whole stock back here, including the actual butt of the stock itself and the lines that it runs backward on. So overall, you do get a good mix of construction. The plastic pieces feel durable and solid. I imagine they're constructed of a good quality polymer, and everything feels solid, well put together on this AEG. Now obviously something else to note with the externals, some engraved trademarks, such as this one located on the left side of the gun's magazine well, and ones like these located just on top of the gun itself. We have engraved HKMP5, as well as the serial number and 6mm BB painted on. These painted on ones look rather nice and bright in the white paint, however chances are, after extended use, they probably will fade off, unlike the engraved ones, which are there to stay. So those do look rather nice, and when you talk about internals, things get even nicer. Out here where I play Airsoft, basically everyone swears by VFC that uses them. They say they have absolutely excellent internals, and that's exactly what we get here. You do have a metal gearbox with a metal gear set, and like I just stated, my guys, they love VFC, and I do agree with them. The internals in these guns are absolutely fantastic. Alright, now moving on from the construction of this AEG and hopping directly into features, you guys know me, and in my opinion on an AEG there's no more important feature than battery space. Obviously the MP5A5 is the adjustable stock model, therefore you don't have a full stock to store your battery, so that leaves one space, and that will be inside the weapon's handguard. Now in order to open this up, the first thing you have to do is remove this pin. And once you've gone ahead and done that, you can actually remove the handguard itself. Simply pull downward in the front and slide off like so. Now once that's done, you will reveal your small type connector and also the rather small battery space inside the handguard. That's what kind of sucks about this without the full stock. Yay, you get the adjustability of this stock, but you don't have the battery space whatsoever. And you're pretty limited to some smaller butterfly batteries or maybe a nunchuck, a small LiPo or something like that. In order to put the handguard back on, simply reverse the process. You probably want to slide this piece downward like so, snap this upward, and at that point you would go ahead, put in your pin, and lock the battery handguard in place. Now features wise, you certainly can't overlook the feature we chose to have in place of that full stock, which would give us the bigger battery space, and that's your collapsible stock right here in the back. Obviously it is not extended whatsoever right now, shortened right up against the base of the gun, and at this point probably better for storage, maybe CQB play, got to shoot around some tight corners or something like that. But let's say you wanted to adjust it, you'd simply push inward on the plastic tab toward the left side of the gun, and at that point it would extend outward to its only extended position, and at this point you basically add a half a gun length to the AEG, and in my opinion this is the much more comfortable method of shooting, a lot easier to aim, better grip on the AEG, etc. Personally, I'm a huge preferrer of shooting with the stock extended. Extended, there is really no wobble whatsoever with the stock as far as pushing inward goes, a little bit up and down, but nothing too serious that you really need to worry about. The butt of the weapon is nice and serrated, gives you a better grip on your shoulder when you're aiming, and overall it's quite comfortable when the stock is extended. Personally, I do like the look of the MP5 with the adjustable stock as opposed to the full stock. It just sucks that you lose the battery space. As far as the fire selector switch goes, the selector switch is ambidextrous, not only being located on the left side shown here, but also on the right side of the weapon shown here. You get your standard settings plus an additional one, as you'll just see: safe, semi, full auto all the way at the top, and a special 3-round burst setting, which we'll see in a little bit. Overall, the selector switch is pretty nice. It does require a little bit of force to move, but hey, that's not too bad considering you won't have to worry about it slipping in between settings. It is a little bit annoying and gritty to move though. Now when it comes to the mag release, this is ambidextrous as well for the AEG, seeing as how it is located down below in the center of the gun, just in front of the trigger guard. When you push the mag release inward like so, the magazine will carefully slide out. It does tend to stick in there, and it's also a little bit annoying to get up inside the gun. There is very little wobble when it's in the AEG, but that does translate into being kind of a pain when you go to remove it or put it in. Now the included magazine is your standard MP5 high capacity style magazine. It is constructed of metal and works like any other MP5 high cap. You'd load it up via the trapdoor up top. The BBs would obviously feed through here, and down below is where you would wind the magazine in order to keep the BBs flowing upward. Aside from the little trapdoor being kind of annoying when you go to fill it up with BBs, this thing is supposed to hold about 300 rounds. The mag works like any other high cap and feeds, you know, alright, a little bit hard to keep up on full auto. Something I did find funny about the magazine is that actually there's an engraved trademark down here. I thought, oh, H&K again. Actually, it says JG. Kind of funny. Now when it comes to talking about the iron sights of the VFC MP5A5, they're just your standard basic MP5 style sights. So we'll go ahead and take a closer look at them right now. Now your rear sight is just your standard adjustable drum style sight. You can adjust this if you wanted to, simply by going ahead and giving it a twist. You can turn it to adjust the size of the hole you're looking through, which you would in turn aim and line up with your front sight, which is nothing more than a non-adjustable enclosed sight post. Overall, the iron sights are pretty accurate to the gun, and they are what you're stuck with out of the box. You can, however, buy a scope mount for the MP5 if you wanted to override them and, say, put a nice tactical CQB-style red dot on here, which, hey, I might personally recommend. Well, what about the gun's hop-up unit? Well, its charging handle is functional. When you go ahead and pull that back, you can lock it upward like so. You will, in turn, open up your AEG's dust cover and reveal your gun's hop-up unit. Now, this hop-up unit's a little bit different than you'd normally see. It's not a gear. It's actually one of those kind of sliding piece style, but in a little bit different. It's actually this black piece right here, which does require a little bit of force to get moving. This is a decent hop-up unit as far as adjustment goes, in my opinion, because it's not small enough that you couldn't get a big glove in there, say in a winter game, but at the same time it's not huge enough that it would be easy. So it's a little bit annoying to adjust, and like I said, a little bit hard to move, but I'm sure that'll break in over time. And as you'll see in just a few moments, the hop-up is in general pretty effective. Now when you've gone and finished adjusting that hop-up, you want to go ahead and release the charging handle. I wouldn't necessarily recommend giving it the HK slap, considering a couple of those you might break the charging handle, and then how are you going to adjust your hop-up? So just carefully release it like so, let it snap forward, and at that point your dust cover will cover up that hop-up unit once again. Now you heard me hint at the hop-up's effectiveness. We're going to go ahead and put that to the test right now in the performance test aspect of our video. Not only are we going to be chronoing the gun, we'll also be taking a few shots down range at a target. So with that being said, let's go! For the chrono portion of the video, we loaded up with 0.2 gram BBs and installed a 7.4 volt LiPo to check out the gun's rate of fire in feet per second. As far as feet per second goes, we saw a little bit high for something you might want to use for CQB, right around the 380 to 390 feet per second area, very consistently with 0.2 gram BBs. And when it came to rate of fire, I was a little disappointed. We saw about 700 rounds per minute, which as you can see transfers into about 11 rounds per second. Might just be the LiPo is a little bit old, but I was a little disappointed by the rate of fire. Feet per second, great if you wanted to use this in woodland though. Alright, so hopping into the shooting test portion of the performance test, I went ahead and set myself up about 115 feet away, maybe maximum CQB style distance if you're playing in that large of an environment. Loaded up with 0.25 gram BBs, kept the same 7.4 volt battery, and went and adjusted my hop-up. Now I was incredibly pleased with the accuracy of this AEG. On semi-automatic, I believe I hit the target every single time, except for once when the BB simply kind of rolled out of the barrel a little bit, maybe an issue with the hop-up there. As far as 3-round burst went, as you guys will be seeing in just a few seconds here in the video, the accuracy was phenomenal. We hit the target each time, and also those BBs stayed in a direct straight line. Bam, 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 hit that target right on. No cloud effect in the 3-round burst whatsoever. Straight line of BBs coming right at you. On full auto, same thing. We saw an excellent straight line of BBs coming down range, just more than 3 that time, and each burst did hit the target quite well. So overall, the accuracy on this gun was excellent. Certainly something that could compete in a CQB or a field style environment. Alright, so with those final shots being fired, we can go ahead and get to the conclusion portion of this video review. Now a quick disclaimer before I start talking here, I'm an airsofter first and a reviewer second. In this review, I'm concerned with how this AEG will handle out in the actual airsoft field, not about how great it looks sitting at a table. Now with that being said, personally, I'll admit, I'm a little bit biased seeing as how I've been around VFC for so long and their quality's always been great. I think this AEG is absolutely awesome, exactly what I expect from VFC. You get an excellent performance as we just saw out of it. You could take this out to a woodland game, even though it's an MP5 more so designed for CQB, and certainly do well with accuracy like that. Or, you know, depending on your field's FPS regulations, you could go to CQB and certainly tear it up with a nice compact little MP5 AEG like this. There are a couple things I don't like. Number one, the fire selector switch. It's very annoying because it doesn't give you that click. You're not quite sure what setting you're on. You have to make sure you're lined up perfectly with that line. If you're just a hair over, like I was, I might think I'm shooting semi, but actually end up shooting 3-round burst, and that can just be kind of annoying. My other complaints are just specifically to the MP5 itself. I do not like the magazines because they're very annoying to wind, and they have that too tiny trapdoor up top, when especially annoying when you're unloading the magazine as opposed to loading it. The battery space in this gun, despite being stored in the handguard, is actually pretty ample, as I found out. It's pretty deep that you can store a larger battery in there. More so limited still to the smaller types as I stated earlier, but the point is it's a little bit deeper than those tight little tiny ones you sometimes get. The quality of the gun is absolutely awesome. Again, exactly what I would expect from VFC, and overall I'd recommend this to the airsofter who wants to get that solid quality MP5 that he can take out to the game, run as a primary AEG, and do a great job with. VFC did an excellent job with this MP5. The H&K trademarks just add to the great look of it, and overall it's a very nice gun. There's not too much I can complain about with it, and I certainly would recommend it to those airsofters who have that higher budget, who want the nice AEG to take out there on the field and do well with. So with that being said, guys, this has been Spotted Hog Airsoft's review of the VFC MP5A5 Airsoft AEG with H&K Trades. And with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.